Update your WeedTube app. By the time this is out,
Yes.
WeedTube will have Pipeline on the app, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Update your fucking WeedTube app on your phone. Hey guys, welcome back to Two Girls, One Bong.
The podcast that's better if you're stoned, and I will just beat you to death if you're not. My name is MacDizzle.
Me too. She'll be tagging me in. I'm Joya. Let's dive on in.
Dive on in. Let me. These lights are bothering me right now. They're on the wrong setting. It's flashing, and it's too much for my ADHD.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you at all. That's funny. I didn't notice until she said something, but holy shit, that shit is very much going off. Like, do we need to put a flash warning at the beginning of the episode?
Honestly, though,
Flashing
I really
lights.
think about that kind of stuff. Because, like, imagine just, like, watching a video, then all of a sudden, boom, you have a seizure because somebody wasn't considerate enough to be like, hey, by the way, I might trigger you right now. You know?
Yeah, totally. Not that your lights would have given somebody a seizure. They were very...
No, they weren't that intense.
Yeah. But I didn't notice until you said something, and then I was like, oh my God, yeah, that shit is going...
Yeah, because usually I have it on a setting. Sometimes I'll have it on a setting where it, like, eases into different light colors, and it's
yes.
like, oh, nice.
Yes.
But that was just like...
Yeah.
I could, like, hear the lights
like,
changing.
That was the... that was the party setting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, hey friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. We just recorded this a couple days ago. It feels like we've recorded it on Friday, and like when today came up, I was like, how are we recording again so soon
already? Yeah,
so soon.
Totally.
But yeah, look
so
at my nails
soon.
right now.
Oh wow.
It's not as bad because they're short.
They're not as long. Yeah.
Feel very fucking.
How
sad.
did that happen? Did you take them off on purpose?
They just started I've had these on for over a month now, so they're super grown out, and they're just at a point now where like if you do certain things, it just starts to lift a little bit, and I'm just like,
yeah. Once it starts, because then like you get like your hair caught in it, or like, yeah.
I've ripped out like 30 hairs, and that's when I said nope. Fucking ripping
that is
them
completely
off.
Yeah, dude. Or like a fiber on your shirt, like when you're putting your shirt on. Ew, your hair looks so good, by the way. I think I told you last week, but it looks so good. Yeah.
Thank you so.
You're welcome.
All right, so I would like to start the podcast by getting really, really high with you right now. Are you down?
Yes. Unbelievably down. Could not be more down for that.
Oh, I wish I had. Ooh, I do have a little bit of wax I can put on a bowl. Hello, the Lord giveth. I just have. So here's the thing. I've been in this weird habit of not throwing away these dab containers. Mm-hmm. And every now and then I'll just find all.
It's so hard to throw those away.
It's so hard because you're like, there's still a tiny bit in there.
I don't want to be wasteful.
Yesterday I picked up my sister from the airport. And she was flying home from Indonesia, so it was like a long ass flight.
Oh my God, did she go visit your dad?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wow.
And so I picked her up yesterday, and like first thing, she got in the car. I was like, "Do you want to smoke a bowl?" She said, "Yes," because my mom was at work still, and she had like time, like a couple hours before my mom was gonna be home. My sister's not like a child, by the way. She's a child in my head, but like she's just living with my mom right now because she's trying to figure out her life.
Yeah, she's an adult. Age. She can make her own freaking decisions for sure.
And so she was like, yeah, no, please, would love one. And so she like packed herself a bowl, and then we were driving home, and there was a lot of traffic. And I was like, oh, well, I gotta pull over and get some gas. Why don't you pack me a bowl and, do that thing. And this is a long version of the story. It doesn't need to be this long. But she tried to pack the bowl. I had a gram of wax in there, and she had sat on it somewhere. She could not find this gram of wax. And so I was like, oh, my God, girl, what the fuck? And then I'm just driving, and I look just out of my peripheral, and there is a little dab container on my dashboard, just in the very corner. It's been sliding back and forth, I guess. I don't know. Just in the corner, and I grab it, and there is no less than half a gram of diamonds. Just open. It wasn't even closed, Joya. It was just open like this on my dashboard. And I was like, well, just use this instead. She said, that looks kind of methy.
Oh my God. god. It is very, it's like crystally and like.
And they were like bleached by the sun, so they were like white.
Oh my god, do you remember when I got that clear? You probably got some too. It was like a clear wax, like clear diamonds a few years ago. God knows what they had to do to that to make it look like that. I have no idea, but how you went from the color green to clear, I have no idea. But anyway, that's hilarious. I also had actually a comment to make about you and Rachel. You posted a picture of you guys yesterday.
Yes.
And I just want to know, what features do you not have in common? What makes your faces different? Because I just can't seem to figure it out.
Our eyebrows are a little bit different in shape.
Okay. I did notice, I was like, is that just because Rachel maybe like waxes her eyebrows to be a certain shape and you don't? Or is it actually because they're two different eyebrows?
I just comb my eyebrows like this. It's just she has more of my mom's shape and I have more of my dad's shape. So I'll grow eyebrows like on in here where she won't. Hers are kind of more of a straight angled.
Okay.
And her lips are a little bit bigger than mine.
Okay.
But
barely.
Like I said, like, and her nose is a little bit different than mine. When you look at a straight on, it's pretty much the same, but from the side, she has a little bit of my mom's nose mixed in, which gives it just a tiny bit of like this ridge right here.
Okay, I see. Because I was like, I'm like, dude, looking at both of your faces, and I'm like, where are the differences? But I figured if anybody was gonna know the differences, it would be you, obviously.
Yeah.
So, or Rachel.
No, it's hard to
one
tell.
Of you
like
guys.
those are things that she has decided are different. You know, she's like, my nose is different and my lips are bigger. I'm like, fine, girl.
That's funny.
You know. But it was so funny. I got a comment in my DMs about that picture, and they're like, wait, how are you both the pretty sister? I was like,
that's cute. That's cute.
Because, you know, that's always like some stigma. There's always like an ugly sister.
Oh my God.
Oh,
when I was growing up, I was like, wow, this is my fate.
Oh my gosh, you were not the ugly sister, though.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not anymore.
You never were, though. Like, I've seen pictures of you when you were younger. You were so, like, still so hot. Like, what are you talking about?
As a teenager, yes.
Is it just because you were a little bit thicker?
Yes. I'm talking
That's
about...
the only reason.
I'm talking about when I was like... No, because by like 12, 13, I knew I was in the bad bitch category, for sure.
Okay, she said I fucking knew it.
But when I was like... You know,
growing up, middle
8,
school
9,
type stuff.
10, 11.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be hot when you're 8.
You're not. And I just had this sexy older sister who was like so hot, living her best life in the early 2000s. And
wearing
I was
low-rise jeans all over the
and
house.
looking sexy in them. Yes. So I thought that I was but yeah. And then I got older and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. No.
I'm hot too. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's chill. She's not 8 years old. I get it now.
Exactly. Like,
she has boobs.
Like, right. I was like, when I was that age, I like was so, I mean, I was, chunky. So I like couldn't even like fit into some of her clothes. Like I wanted to wear my older sister's clothes and be like, but I couldn't fit in them.
I can't imagine that.
Right. There was like this one Halloween costume that she had, which I was way too young to wear.
Just because I can't imagine having an older sister. That's why I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
I was that.
I was just talking to somebody about that too. Because, well, I was talking to my niece last night who's, she's the 15-year-old. And her sister, it is a battle royale in that fucking house all the time. And I'm like, I can't relate to that because I didn't grow up with a little sister, first of all, and I didn't grow up with one close to me in age. So like you had the same relationship kind of similar to what my sister and I had. You're older, so you were able to offer some wisdom and like be a cool, like I'm still your friend, but I have more life experience than you. So I'm going to give you my whatever. But yeah, my sister's kids are just going at it like cats and fucking dogs, dude. I'm like,
I feel like, me and my brother used to me and my brother, we're only a year and 14 months apart, and we never really fought like that.
Me and Milio didn't fight either. Literally, I did not fight with him. A couple times, but
yeah, obviously it's like it's gonna happen.
Perfect, yeah.
You know, but like all together, like we just hung out or left each other alone.
Yeah,
like
totally.
That was it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I want to play the video game. It was like I want to watch you play the video game.
Yeah. I was never right. I never no. That's exactly how it was with me and mine too. So it's funny to see.
Yeah. But it makes sense that like two girls, because they're both interested in the same things. They both kind of want to do the same things. Like
Reagan was telling, she's the older one. She was telling me she's such a basic bitch. She just wears all the same clothes that all the other girls wear. And everybody, when I look for her in a crowd, I can't find her because she's wearing the same thing as everyone else. And it's because I know. And that's what I was like, everybody has their own style. Like, and I told her, because the older one is like, she's an artist. She's a lot more,
She's finding herself, and finding herself involves tearing others down right now.
Her sister. Yeah, absolutely. So, because I was like, why don't you encourage her to be more, to explore with her style a little bit? And she's like, I try. She doesn't listen to me. And I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Like, so I told my sister, I'm like, I'm going to get a call on the books with the younger one too, so I can get an update on her life. She's in 8th grade and the other one's a freshman. She's like, we make fun of all the 8th graders, and she doesn't like, she thinks they're, well, but that's what, you know what I mean? I was like,
the seniors
I
are
made
making
fun of 8th grade.
you. It's
right.
Just
exactly. I'm like, next year, you're going to make fun of the freshmen. And the year after that, you're going to make fun of everyone else that's younger than you. And when you're a senior, you're going to make fun of everybody. It's like, you just, you think teenagers, when they're that age, you think you know everything, and
then you get a job and you realize nothing matters.
Yeah. She's about that. She just turned 15, so she's like looking into. She's gonna wait till
I got my first job.
I was almost. I guess I had to have waited until I was 16, but I interviewed before I was 16 because I remember I drove my car to the interview and I didn't have a license.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take this bong rip.
Yeah. Wait,
we're already 10 minutes in. I put fucking wax on top. It's gonna be hopefully not as. This isn't my first hit of the day though, because I had to film a skit, so I smoked during that. But
so you won't like totally die, just
we'll
minorly die.
See.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I'm holding on my button right now. So.
Oh my god, it's so clean.
This is so funny because I was just looking at it like, damn, I've been ragging on MacDizzle for hers being dirty, and mine is like.
You should see mine right now. It's like brown.
It's beef time ready. Or
cheers.
Whatever. Cheers. I want something bigger. That was bad. Oh my Lord. Yours was huge. Yours was humongous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm actually doing all right now. It wasn't definitely not as bad as it usually is.
Okay, well, I just reheated mine to have like a little extra moment. So
good. Fuck yeah. I love a good moment.
Love a good moment.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. Do you remember when kids didn't have Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
That was a cool time.
It was a cool time. Do you remember when Instagram was just fucking cool photos of your day?
Yeah.
I remember.
Everyone got to lie about how cool their life was. Like you could just like take a picture in front of a Lambo.
People still do that.
Yeah, but like it was a lot easier because they're like, oh my God. Nice.
They're like the next day at school, everyone's like, oh my God, he's rich. He has a Lambo. If the shoe fits right now, wear it, okay? And if it offends you, look in the mirror. I think it's super weird behavior to take pictures with other people's cars and post it. Dude.
I think that's fucking weird.
Did you see the video? Oh, go ahead.
There's somebody we know, an ex of somebody we know, who used to do that kind of shit. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I do. That's funny. Did you see, there was a video that went around. This girl has a gorgeous freaking, it's like a sick ass like pink Porsche, or maybe it's a Lambo truck. Do you know what I'm talking about? The dogs are barking? Time out? Okay.
Hey. Okay. So you were telling me a story about something, and I hit my mic and it became unplugged, and my computer said, go to hell, bitch.
Yeah. I heard it say that, actually. I couldn't hear you, but I did hear the computer.
And what's
say,
crazy is, like,
bitch.
I was already on my way to hell, so it's like, I'm not going because she told me.
Right. That was like...
because I want to.
That makes you want to turn around and, like, go back the other way.
I might just go to heaven now.
Yeah. I was just saying that there was a girl who had, like, this sick-ass... It was a pink SUV, luxury SUV of some sort. It was really cute. Mm-hmm. Very extra. she is in a business.
Oh.
Filming from, you know what I'm talking about? From
and
inside
somebody
a business.
opened her car and got
inside
into
of it. Yes.
I've seen that.
What? That
And
is
the guy
insane.
and her husband was just like filming her the whole time too.
No,
I'm like,
oh, the girl in the car's husband.
Yeah, the girl in the car.
Because she didn't. Yeah. Dude. Oh my! Could you fucking imagine seeing somebody get like? And it's like, you know, harmless and whatever because a person just wants to take a picture. But that's fucking weird. You are weird for that.
That's super
to get
weird.
caught in a situation like that. Oh my God! I would literally walk off a cliff. That is insane.
It's just so.
So yes,
it's
I
just,
completely agree with you.
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm not alone in thinking that. It's weird behavior. Just leave. If you got a nice car and you want to take a picture with your car, go ahead. But why? Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, unless like you're at like a car show, that makes more sense. I can see it in the context of like a car show where you're like, look, I found the fucking mystery machine. Picture in front of the mystery machine. You know what? Fuck it. Take pictures in front of the cars. I don't care. What the fuck do I know?
I mean, I think it's weird too. I think it's really weird to flex things that aren't yours.
Yes.
And I think I also, yeah, we've talked about that because I went to private school. So there was a lot of rich kids. And I felt like there was so many people who were like, would flex things, which I'm like, that's cool. Your parents are rich. But also it's not that cool when you are posting things that are not yours.
No,
like you didn't earn it. You didn't freaking do anything for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Like when I met you, I had no idea that you like came from like a well-off family or anything like that. Because like you don't dangle it in everyone's faces like that. Like, you're not like, oh my God, look at this beautiful car I get to drive around. Look at this house I get to live in. Blah, 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 blah.
And
like,
I made it a point too, like especially when I was using that car to go freaking, whenever I would meet people and they'd be like, "Whoa, this is so dope," I always made sure to be like, I don't fund this.
Yes,
this was a gift.
Yes.
But yeah, and I think that my parents told me when I was a kid, like they always told us like, you just don't comment on money. Like you don't comment on people's money, on people's lack of money. You don't comment on people's things. Like you just don't freaking. And I feel like it definitely helped me. I am a material girl. I love things.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm trying to work my way out of that.
I know. Seriously.
Every bone in my body wants to replace my Mercedes. Every bone. But I'm just like, why though? For fucking why, Max? So I can just feel good about myself when I drive around? Like, why does that make me feel good about myself?
Literally. I feel that sentiment so hard. I mean, to be fair, I also do miss the way my Beamer drove. Like,
yeah,
I can't take that Kia. When I drive Adam's car, I can whip around a fucking corner.
Yes.
And I know I'm not going to flip over.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I also, there's a lot of ability in a car like that. You can't.
We can just get a lower to the ground car. You know, we both have large, big fucking bus cars right now. Like, I got a Jeep. You got that big fucking sedan type Kia. Like, they're big. If we just got like a little fucking Volkswagen, it'll whip. That bitch will whip.
Dude. Yeah,
but it's not my Benz with my interior lighting and my little Mercedes-Benz symbol when I open the door and like massage. My fucking seats had massagers in them.
Yeah. I never had any of those features in my own car, but I miss the way the nice cars drive. Like,
oh my God, the way they pick up.
I completely relate. It's an ego thing for sure,
It
partially at least anyway. It absolutely is. And I also, you know what I noticed too when I was driving a BMW is that I felt like people stayed away from me on the road because they were scared to hurt my car. They were scared to hit my car. Would you agree with that? Did you notice anything like that in the Mercedes? I feel like people would like stay away. Like they were like almost like extra careful, which I'm not saying that it deserves to be that way. That's just something that I noticed. Like,
I don't know.
I don't want to fuck that car up.
I had really bad luck in that car. Like, I would leave it parked places. People would hit it. Like, it was just, I got so many hits on that car.
I forgot, too, that, like, somebody fucking rammed into that car. That's why you don't have it anymore.
Somebody totaled my bitch. No, I did not experience that. People did not give a fuck.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. That's really funny.
Yeah. She fucking T-boned me.
It's not funny. It's
annoying
it is kind
of
fuck.
It can be funny now.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, it wasn't. Oh my God, you guys listening. When MacDizzle called me the morning after she got into that accident, I about had a fucking. Well, I didn't have a heart attack because you were alive, but I just had the most like intense, like emotional moment. Like, oh, people die in car accidents all the fucking time to no fault of their own. They do nothing wrong, and they just get hit by a freaking car.
Like, and what's crazy is we were both at stops where, I mean, I don't really know what her car was doing. My car was at a stop and I started making a left turn, and assumingly she was at a stop, and we just hit each other from a stop and go. Like, imagining going faster or like hitting somebody at that capacity, like on a freeway, like we would all probably be dead. Like, we were only going a maximum of like 20 miles per hour. And our cars are totaled. Our cars are totaled at 20 miles per hour. Like,
that girl driving through that intersection.
She might have just actually been going fast and ran through that red light, because it doesn't feel like 20. Like, it doesn't feel like she would just.
Yeah, I thought
my car spun around.
I thought she was going faster than that, but I wasn't there. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't remember what the status of the traffic was on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't paying attention to who was stopped there. You know, I was just looking at my green light and going. But, like, luckily I had a witness. But, like, it's still, to this day, has not been settled. It's gone up, like, 3 different arbitration levels. There's, like, a judge looking at it now.
Because that girl is fucked. So she's going to exhaust any fucking resources
she hired an attorney.
Yeah.
To sue me.
I'm not surprised.
She hired an attorney to be like, oh, I'm injured, and they came after me. And I was like, Miss Girl, what?
That's why I told you when Adam got into that accident, he did not do anything wrong. The person ran a red light. He freaking got hit in a very similar fashion to what happened to you. And when he got to his work event that he was going to afterwards, they were like, you need to hire an attorney ASAP, just because people are like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at all that she hired an attorney, especially with the fact that you have a witness that says that she's wrong. I'm not surprised at all.
If I didn't have a witness, I probably would have hired an attorney.
Yeah.
But I've also been in and out of the legal system in 100 different ways, and I know how to advocate for myself in those situations now.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people who have to deal with the ins and outs of any kind of legality is tough. Like, it can be very, very scary. But as somebody who's been arrested 4 times, spoken to many different judges, lawyers, that situation, I'm well versed in legal matters, whether they be criminal or insurance. Because I've also had a car stolen before, so I've had to deal with insurance in that manner. So I'm pretty well versed in that respect.
Yeah, you've had that experience with it.
Yeah, no, it's still not closed, but yeah, no, I cannot believe that she hired a fucking. I can't believe that. When it first happened and I found out she hired an attorney, I was like terrified. I called my mom. I called my insurance. I was like, do I need to hire an attorney? And they're not allowed to advise you. I found out because he was very particular in the words that he chose. Yeah. He's like, if you feel like you want to do that, if that's something that you feel like you want to do, you can if you'd like. Like, it was just like that kind of like, yeah, sure. But he did say it is very common in Southern California, especially, for people to hire attorneys after accidents. Because it's just such a booming business. Do you know every one of those billboards you see on the side of the freeway that says injury lawyer? Fucking pigs. I hate them. I hate them.
I thought, because I started seeing those, well, they're in every commercial break on TV, which if you don't know, I watch the news.
She watches cable television still, ladies and gentlemen. She is the one person. She is the Nielsen family.
I like to watch my local news and know what's going on in my community. But they're on every fucking commercial break. It's a different lawyer. And I know all of their jingles. I know I would be able to call pretty much any of them if I needed to. I literally know all their little jingles. But they're on every freaking commercial break. And what is that? Oh, did it just come off?
Yeah, I just got it off.
But then, so I thought that was just in Texas, because Texas has the most dangerous roads in the country. We have the most deaths per mile of any state in the country.
Jesus Christ.
And we get into the most, like, it's like the most accidents happen here, the most deaths. It's like really bad because the fucking roads are bad. Like, there's just
poorly
parts
designed
that are confusing. And like, there's like a freeway in Houston that has like 20 lanes. Like, it's huge. And so, like, getting, like, off on something like that, where you have to cross, like, 8 lanes.
That's crazy.
So they're just, like, things like that. But then I think I saw, when we went to Vegas, I saw billboards. And then when I went home for the holidays, I saw billboards too. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought it was just a Texas, or at least, you know, more prominent in Texas. But absolutely, they're all over LA.
Injury lawyers, bro. There are so many injury, and there's people making businesses, entire well-beings off of this. You know what's crazier? Let me get into more crazy stuff. DUIs, a fucking scam. And I as a person who has 2 DUIs, I'm speaking from a place of honesty and experience. DUIs are a fucking scam, and I don't mean that we should be letting people drink and drive. That's not what I'm talking about. Having a legal limit is a scam. Okay, nobody knows what 0.08 feels in their body. And also, let me bring up, in the 80s, the legal limit was 0.2.
Yeah.
And that's is more than double what it is now.
Yeah.
You, like, 0.2 is 20%. Fucked up. 0.2 is, like, close to blacked out. Yeah. Like, you're fucked up at 0.2. And so Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been advocating to get the legal limit lowered and lowered and lowered. And so they'll keep getting it lowered. But if they really wanted to prevent DUIs, they could. It would be 0.0. Yeah. If you have a drink.
0.1 or 0.001 or something.
No alcohol in your blood. If you like.
Yeah, so the limit would be, yes.
What I'm saying is 0.0, like no 0.08, which is what it is right now. Because basically what you're saying is there is a legal limit that you're allowed to drive with alcohol in your system. You're encouraging people to go have a drink at dinner and come home. That's what you're doing. If you said you are not allowed to drink and drive, it doesn't matter if you had 1 beer, there is no legal limit that you can have in your system that won't be considered a DUI. Less people would be drinking and driving. I fucking promise you that.
You know what? I wonder if, and I'm not saying this is an excuse or a good reason for it, but I wonder if that would hurt bars, like the bar industry. I feel like that might be a factor in decision making.
It could, because that's more often where people are driving home. You know, but let me continue on. Yeah. So, scam. Here's all the people who make money from DUIs. The court. Lawyers. Traffic schools. Mm-hmm. Sobriety programs. Mm-hmm. Outpatient programs.
Oh my
counseling meetings. Fucking victim panels. All of these people are profiting from the money that people
bonds people.
I'm telling you, there is an entire ecosystem of people supported off of just DUIs. DUIs.
God. So what would you suggest in a situation like that? Like, you just go to, like, what would it be like you go to jail? You know what I mean? What would be the punishment?
Here's the thing. I think if they really wanted to prevent DUIs, they could put ignition locks on every single car that ever comes out in the United States. And it could just be a thing that everybody, when you get in the car, you have to prove that you're not drunk. And people are like, that's infringing on my freedom. It's like, how? Your freedom to drink and drive, we sure are.
Commit a crime.
We're infringing on your freedom to commit a crime. That's it. Yeah. That is literally it.
Or hurt someone.
And there are those ignition locks aren't perfect. Sometimes when you use these are one-off situations.
People would figure out how to rig it too, obviously, like they do.
You could just have a friend blow into it. Like, there's a million things you can do to work around it. But if they really wanted to make a very real effort to crack down on people drinking and driving, put an ignition lock in every fucking car. And if you get pulled over for drinking and driving, the first punishment needs to be way harsher. My first DUI, I got a 3-month class, which means I went to 12 classes total. Mm-hmm. 12. Mm-hmm. I had to pay a fine. And DUIs are basically only crimes for poor people.
Right.
Because I would have gone to jail for 6 months had I not had the financial backing that I did. Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
So, and like, we need to eliminate this whole cash bail fucking being able to pay your way out of jail system. Like, a crime should not exist only for the lower class.
Yep. So, cash bail systems are another scam we could
but
get deep into.
What was I saying?
That your punishment.
So the first punishment the second punishment that I received should have been the first.
Or you got your license suspended, right?
I got my license suspended. I had to go to my fucking DUI classes. I had to go to classes for 18 months, a year and a half.
Long time, yeah. And you had to be...
Go ahead.
Sober.
And I had to be sober for 6 months. They put me in a outpatient sobriety program that I had to pay for. And that just, the seriousness of those consequences really kind of put things into perspective for me. Like, I obviously knew that, like, driving drunk is fucking horrendously dangerous, but it didn't hit me because, like, I wasn't driving dangerously when I got pulled over. That doesn't make sense.
But you never, but you don't feel like you are. I mean, I don't think you were driving dangerously, but when you're drunk, you're like, oh no, I'm fine. And then it's not till, I feel like anyway, the times that I have drinking and drove, it's just so stupid. It's totally not necessary, especially when you have the means to
get home,
call an Uber or whatever. Yeah. But while I'm driving, I'm like, I am good. I am not drunk. Like, I am not. And then I get home. And I'm like, oh shit, I actually was a little drunker than I feel. I haven't drinking anymore. And I feel, you know what I mean? It was afterwards that I was like, oh, whoa, I probably shouldn't have driven.
This is probably just like me minimizing it in my own head. And I'm going to own up to that. But the way I saw it was like, okay, I wasn't pulled over for swerving or doing like reckless shit. I was going 90 on the freeway at 3 a.m., which pretty classic in California. Yeah. And I got pulled over for speeding. And what happened. And then the second time I got pulled over for expired tags. So in my head, I kind of justified it as like I wasn't putting people in danger. Like I was driving fine.
I didn't get pulled over for being drunk. Literally. I got pulled over for...
I was like, I wasn't pulled over for being drunk. I was pulled over for these things and they found out I was drunk. Like that's the way I kind of saw it until I hit my second case. And I realized like I had to go to like so many different impact statements and different things. And like, bro, so much can go wrong when you are inebriated behind the wheel of a car. And that's why I just think it is such a fucking scam that DUIs, the 0.08 that exists. You are literally just inviting people to test their limits. Yeah. And also on top of that, you should know DUIs are not limited to just over the limit. If you get if you're driving with like 0.06, 0.04, technically under the legal limit, you can still get a wet and reckless. And wet and reckless
that's
isn't
what Adam got. He didn't get a DUI. They changed it to a wet and reckless.
Which isn't it's basically the exact same consequences as a DUI. It just goes on your record a little bit differently and it doesn't count as but I believe if you get a DUI after that, it still counts as a second.
I believe it. It should.
And so like I said, even if you're driving under the legal limit, you can get that wet and reckless charge and all of that. Yeah. So just don't, totally. There should not be a legal limit. That is such a weird way to phrase things. You know, it's such a weird way to phrase it. I just don't think there should be an entire ecosystem of people who make money off of something that is so preventable. Like if we really wanted to prevent DUIs, we fucking could. We just don't want to because they are a cha-ching cash cow. That is one of the number one things in the court systems that is bringing in money for people. I
fucking believe it. Especially the fines are freaking huge.
Yeah. No, and not, and like I said, like I was saying that DUIs aren't just confined to drinking. I was in a class with someone who was riding a horse, smoking a blunt, and got a DUI for riding a horse while smoking a blunt. And he also got animal endangerment.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
It's a scam. It's a scam. DUIs are a fucking scam. You cannot convince me otherwise. If they didn't want DUIs to exist, they wouldn't have them. Do you know how few DUIs there would be if there were ignition locks in every single car?
Yeah.
And the average person who like isn't drinking and driving should not fucking care about that. Like, oh, it's an extra 10 seconds in your day to start your car. Boo-hoo. Guess what? Every other person on the fucking planet has to do it now too.
Yeah, and it's keeping people from
dying. And also saving us a ton of money, y'all. Because god damn. Do you know, my DUI's total, I probably spent like $20,000. So, and that's just me. Just one person.
Fuck. Fuck, dude. Oh
my outpatient program was $1,000 a month.
For 18 months.
No. That was only 6 months because the outpatient program was
yeah.
where I had to be sober and all that. They put
Yeah.
a drug patch on my arm that collected all of my sweat. So there was no way to beat that drug patch. I'll tell you what, I tried. I tried.
Oh my god.
They had an ankle monitor on my ankle that not only tracked my location. Oh, it didn't track my location, but it could see if I was next to the sensor at home. That's how they work.
So it knew if you were at home.
Yes, it knows if I'm outside of the radius. It doesn't know where I am, technically. It's not like GPS. Right. But it also made sure it monitored my my sweat from my body and made sure that I wasn't drinking alcohol. It was an alcohol monitor on my fucking ankle.
Oh my god, the ankle one was too?
The ankle one was for alcohol. The drug patch was for all the other things. Yeah, like anything else.
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that one time I accidentally got high?
Yes.
We should talk about it.
Because there was THC. You were smoking a CBD bowl, but there was...
What we were doing dabs in a gas mask.
Dabs.
We were doing gas mask dabs, Joya, and I gave you a dab, and I did it, and we capped it. We did all that. It was good. And then I used a different dabber for me. It had a wider base on it, but we were using an e-nail. And so it was one of those kind of titanium cappers. And so, yes, so the cap that the dabber with the cap on it was bigger than the one that you used, which was the standard one for that nail. And so nothing happened when you took the dab. And me trying to be extra careful and safe, I grabbed this other dab cap just so I don't have any THC on the applicating tip. And I put the little CBD dab on and I cap it, and all the old wax.
Okay, so yeah, you were saying how that dabber was bigger, so that
than the nail.
The nail is this big, and my dabber is this big.
So pretend like the nail is 10. Just to give you like a size thing, 10 millimeters. You know, like that little joint connector, the super skinny joint, and like a 14 millimeter, much wider joint.
The whatever is inside is going way deeper into the other thing.
More or less, it turned into like a fucking canopy roof hung all the way down, and so the hot part of the nail touched the very, very top of the cap, where all of like the residue and like when you're capping a dab, wax is bubbling and it's like going inside of the cap, right? So all of that residue that was inside of that cap from when I was dabbing, I placed that on top of my CBD dab, and because it was bigger than the nail, it went all the way down and melted all of that wax down. And I just remember being in that gas mask and taking that dab and being like, what is going on? I'm so fucking sweaty. What's happening?
That's what I was gonna say. Immediately you were like, dude,
something's wrong.
Yes. Like, I think I dabbed real weed. Like, you were like immediately like, I feel different. Oh my God. I think I just got THC in my dab. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I remember
dude.
That. And
do you think we could find that freaking...
Oh, it's there. We can find that video still.
We need to do reacting to old Two Girls and Bong stuff. Literally.
Definitely. But I remember taking off the gas mask, going in the bathroom and just being like, oh, fuck. And just like immediately feeling just blitzed because I hadn't been smoking for like 3 months at that point. This was like halfway through my fucking sobriety. And I was just like, holy fucking fuck. And after you left that night, I was just like, well, I already have THC in my system. And I smoked a fucking bowl. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck it.
And then if I remember correctly, they obviously, you didn't violate it. So they didn't.
They did not catch the violation until like a week before I was supposed to graduate. I don't know what went wrong on their end. They found it. They definitely found it. They found it. And I made up a story. So actually, here's how it went. I remember my attorney calling me. My attorney called me one day, and she was like, hey, so-and-so from this program called me, and they said that you had a positive test. And I was like, yeah, no, that I know exactly what you're talking about. And it was an accident, and I just made something else up. I said I was trying to take CBD capsules, and I had CBD capsules and THC capsules right next to each other, and I took the wrong one. And I said it was a one-time thing. It was an accident, blah, 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 blah. And so I talked to like the director of the program who was like, I don't know, we might have to report you to the courts. Which is all bullshit. They don't want to report you to the courts.
No, they want
it is
you to
in their
pass
best
their
interest.
Program. Yeah.
It is in their best interest to have high passing rates in their program.
You
they
told
don't
me that.
Yeah.
When that happened, you were like, because I was like, oh my God, like freaking out. And you were like, no. They don't. They want you to go through their program, no problems, no issues, upstanding citizen. And then they give you back.
They want you to go through that. They do not want to have to send a failed report to the court because that makes them look bad, like they're not doing their job. The more failed reports they have, the less likely that they're going to be recommended to other people.
Right.
So
Totally.
fewer clients, all that. It's all money, guys. It's all fucking money. Yep. And so I was paying them $1,000 a month. So obviously they didn't want to just be like, no, you know. Every person there too. They had like 100 clients. It's insane. It's insane how much money they're bringing in just that one location. Lord. So that happened, and he calls me, and he's like, look, I might have to report you to the court, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, we'll give you one more chance as long as your levels start dropping. And it looks like, because like my test came out, and it was like THC high, you know, as long as the THC levels kept dwindling down to show that I haven't been consuming.
More, I see. Gotcha.
That he was like, all right, then we'll let you go. And as I recall, I think I stopped for a little bit, and so my levels started. I actually don't know if I stopped at all. If I'm being honest.
If we're being totally transparent, I remember you took off the patch for a little bit.
Yeah, I started trying to take the patch off. I remember I started trying to like cheat the system and take the patch off. And that didn't work, girl.
It didn't work.
No, because that's when a week before I was supposed to graduate, my my handler or whatever was like, so your levels aren't dropping, sis.
Oh my God.
Oh, actually, no. I'm getting this all mixed up. I didn't stop for a while.
Yeah.
And my guy was like, your levels aren't dropping, girl. What's going on? I was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I really have to stop. And so like for like the last month and a half, 2 months, I did stop again. And so my levels started going down and down and down again. And I did stop. But I did start trying to take the patch off, and I realized it wasn't working. And I was like, oh my God. So gave up on that. And the day that he's taking my monitor off, he sits down. He's like, so you're getting your monitor off. Just tell me the truth. Were you smoking? And I was like, no, bro. No, definitely not. I don't know what that was about.
Because, like, you know, like, what? Yeah, I'd take that to the grave, too.
Yeah, I was like, no way, bro. No, fuck no. I don't know how it happened. I told you it was one time that THC capsule, it got me. But yeah, so.
That's funny.
A scam.
Yeah, completely agree.
Big scammy scam. Agree. Don't get a DUI, guys.
Biana.
Yeah, I would love to take a rip, but can I just give you guys advice? If you're like me and you're like, I'm going to go to this thing tonight and I'm not going to drink. Even if you think that thought, don't drive there. Mm-hmm. Get a ride, Uber, scooter, anything besides getting behind the wheel of a car where you could hurt somebody else. Okay? Because if you want to risk your own life on a scooter, go off, King. I don't care.
Oh my God, dude. Somebody actually got killed on one of those recently in downtown. Like, they were riding it and the car hit them and they died.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's like basically, it's worse than a motorcycle. And motorcycles are quite literally death machines.
I know. Dude, we just had a motorcycle death. Oh my God. We were coming home. We were driving past intense freaking... I mean,
accident. Was there like a stopped freeway?
There was like an accident. Yes, and there was a freaking... It wasn't on the freeway. It was like the road, the main road where I live is a freeway, and then it turns into like a very large street. And so it's like at that transition spot, oftentimes there's like, you know, people are driving really fast.
Yeah.
We drove past and there was like a freaking like tarp on the ground. Like there was like a freaking dead person underneath it.
I've seen that once. I was driving home and it was a stopped... It was like eerie because it was at night, and the entire other side of the freeway, I hadn't seen a car for miles. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. What the fuck? And then I got to the accident, and it was just police cars ambulances, fire trucks, and just a blanket over, like a white blanket in the middle of the road over a body. And I was just like, holy shit. Because my cousin died on a motorcycle. Like, I fucking hate motorcycles, y'all.
I know, me
they
too.
are so fucking
Two of
dangerous.
my brothers have them, and I'm like, literally,
my brother
stop
bought one.
fucking riding that thing.
His ex-wife took it in their divorce, and that's probably the best thing she ever
He got
did.
a new one.
No, he didn't buy a new one.
Oh, good.
It was like a
glad to hear that.
vindictive bitch move, and we hate her
Well,
for it, but I'm glad he doesn't have it anymore.
She's such a bitch, but she did one thing right. But yeah, and also here you don't have to wear a helmet if you don't want to.
That's, which I honestly
Insane.
fine. Don't wear a fucking helmet.
Yeah. But
none of my
also,
business.
yeah, it's like, you're right. It's really not. But it's like similar to like a seatbelt, you know? Like, I'm glad that I take my seatbelt seriously.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not.
I think
freaking.
my only reason I would be like, you guys need to wear your seatbelts and your helmets is because the potential, like, obviously I don't want you guys to die, but also I don't want someone else to be traumatized because they killed you in an incident that could have been preventable.
Exactly.
You know?
But I know that's like one of those things where it's like, damn, like everybody.
If I killed a motorcyclist,
do those things.
If I killed a motorcyclist because he didn't have a helmet, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Horrible. And somebody did. Whoever was involved in that accident that I saw the other day. It was a motorcycle in a car, and that was, it's horrible.
And on that note, let's get high.
Yeah. I'm clicking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
bitch.
you're not ready?
Well, no.
Okay. Be safe, guys, please.
Yeah.
Pretty please.
Wear your helmet. Wear your seatbelt.
Those things.
Wear elbow pads when you go skateboarding.
Why not? I don't care if you look
Right.
like a shoey.
Protect yourself. Yeah. I don't care if you look like a shoey. Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
Anyways, like I said, guys, if you're one of those people who thinks that you have the self-control to not drink and then you don't fucking drive to these places. Just don't drive there. Just don't drive there. Make it difficult for yourself to get home. That's fine. It's way better than dealing with the ladder. I promise. I promise. Anyways, ignition locks on all cars 2020.
Yes. Completely.
2022. What year is it?
Oh my God. And then me being like, yes.
We're all
messing up
permanently
the year completely.
stuck.
Yeah.
We're like,
literally time froze.
as a society, we have not moved on from 2020.
Fuck.
All right. Well, how much did we record before I had the technical difficulties?
10, how much, Dev? 10,
Like
12
10
minutes?
We got some time for... okay.
Cool. So we have a few minutes left.
We have like 10 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get a Am I the Asshole? Oh, well, they deleted the thing, but the title was, what does WIBT... Would I be the asshole if I ended a close friendship because you have a crush on them? No.
No?
Because obviously that's not a friendship to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the same thing, and that's
Or
it's
maybe
unhealthy.
there's an aspect of it that's a friendship, but that doesn't mean that's only what it is. It's obviously more than that.
That's so. These people write these things and then delete them. I'm like,
Like,
it's
yeah, you don't
anonymous
stand on what you said.
and it's anonymous on Reddit.
But also, I feel like sometimes I feel like people get specific enough with the situations that like
someone
if
could know.
somebody involved, yeah.
Okay, three of them were
Okay, wait,
deleted.
I'm gonna
I got
go
one.
pee really quick.
Okay.
Oh, you do? Shoot.
You
Can
go.
I? Okay.
You can go.
Yeah.
I'll tell them sweet nothings from my childhood. What's a cool childhood story? Well, this one isn't a cool story. One time, no, I won't tell this story. What's a cool story? Did you guys ever play handball when you were a kid? I used to play handball, and when I say handball is a game where you like bounce a ball against a wall and then you have to like hit it, and it has to bounce once before it hits the wall. That's one of the rules. Okay? You're not allowed to just smack the ball into the wall. I think and if you do that, you're out. If you do it and it bounces twice, you're out. If you do it and it doesn't hit the wall because it's a small wall, you're out. And there was this one specific style to hit the ball. The kids that were really good, they would get super close to the ground. I don't remember what it was called. It might have been called slices. They were called slices. And they would hit the ball so it would just like graze the ground and barely bounce up and hit the wall, and it made it like impossible to hit for the second time. It's kind of like tennis in a way. And or kind of like what's that game that guys play in gyms?
Handball?
Yeah, it's handball, but it was like with a bigger
it's not
ball.
Handball. But handball is like with a wall. I don't know what it's called.
Not
racquetball.
Racquetball. Not so with the racket.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, I'm moving on. Am I the asshole for deleting my girlfriend's 2-year-old save file on The Sims? It sounds rude.
Yeah, I agree.
He's already been voted the asshole, or they have already been voted the asshole. All right.
Just assume it's a man.
Well, the name is Steve Kurt 69. So.
Oh.
You know. Title probably sounds bad, but read all post before deciding. I think he's saying he's a male 23, his girlfriend female 21, man, is a very obsessed Sims player. She plays it constantly and has bought almost all of the DLC. I think that's like downloadable content. Got it. She has been playing on one save file for about 2 years now. Now, I love her and I support this. I have spent many nights just talking and watching her play and have bought her some of the DLC. So I have no problem with that and wouldn't do it to annoy her or anything. She plays it on her laptop, and recently her brother, male 19, who used her laptop because his broke and he needed to do some schoolwork. When she got her laptop back, I don't know what he did, but her laptop very clearly was now filled with viruses. There were several new files she never downloaded on there, and when I opened Task Manager, a bunch of programs with suspicious names were running in the background. She tried to play her game, and whatever virus was on there seemed to have corrupted her game too, because it wouldn't run, and when it did, it was broken and pretty much unusable. I am not good at programming or computer stuff at all, but after a while, I seemed to get all the virus files off, but even then, her sim file was pretty much messed up. No matter what I did, that save file was almost unusable. No matter what I did, the saved file was almost unusable. People are bad at writing. I'm literally like editing anyways. The gameplay was laggy to the point of being like 1 frame a minute and generally crashed constantly. The rest of her game was fine though. Just that save. After like 2 weeks of trying and nothing working, I just decided it was unsalvageable. I told her this and deleted up her messed up save file. She went into a crying fit about how I didn't, quote unquote, try hard enough and, quote, ruined everything and 2 years of hard work, even though I told her nothing could fix it. She cried and sulked all night and won't talk to me and is acting like I ruined her life. My question is, was I the asshole for doing this? I did try my best to fix it, but it just didn't work.
Well, it sounds like it was an accident. Was it an accident?
No, he said the gameplay was laggy.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks of trying and nothing working, I just decided it was unsalvageable. Oh. I told her this and deleted her messed up save file.
Okay.
It sounds like he put in an effort to make it work. Here's the thing. What was the conversation when you told her you were going to delete it? How is she upset after the fact? Like, if she agreed to that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's also, like, if the file was corrupted.
So this girl is obviously pretty obsessed with this thing. My initial question is, why didn't you take it to a professional? You know, you just said, you said yourself that you're not good at programming.
Yeah, so if it was so important to her, if she was so emotionally attached to
it,
then... Maybe you guys, they should have called in the troops.
Yeah, call in the troops for that kind of, like, if my laptop got viruses, I wouldn't even attempt to fix it by myself.
Yeah, and it sounds like that guy probably knows a little bit about computers, but not enough to deal with something like that. Clearly.
I don't know. That's a complicated one. I don't understand the dynamics of your relationship. That sounded like you did try, and I respect the effort. You know? But next time, seek a professional. That's my advice.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for asking my significant other to leave during my therapy sessions? I, female 33, started seeing a psychologist sometime last year. It's not the first time I've seen a therapist, but it is the first time I've gotten therapy in over 10 years due to lack of insurance in the US. It wasn't until the pandemic that I was able to get affordable health insurance through the state and start therapy again. Only this time, all therapy is done remotely because of the ongoing risk of COVID. Anyway, my husband, male, 69. That's a big age difference there.
How old is she?
36-year difference. She's 33. So, okay. Has breaks. He has breaks throughout the day from his job, so he's often home when my therapy sessions are scheduled. And when I finally found a therapist, I asked him to leave for an hour during my therapy session. This has become a point of contention because he has trouble sleeping through the night and sometimes naps during the day on his breaks. So he's not happy when I wake him up to get him to leave. Okay, we'll finish this, but I tried using a white noise machine once, as I remember advisors in college using that in offices, but it was too loud and distracting for me. I've also suggested that I go to the car for my therapy session, but due to schedule changes with my therapist, it's no longer viable because he needs to leave for work again before my session is over. My husband suggested that he just put his headphones on in the living room while I'm in therapy, but I've made clear that it doesn't make me feel secure in having confidential conversations with my therapist. To be fair, he does have hearing issues, so there's a good chance he can't hear anything beyond noise with headphones on, but I don't feel comfortable with not knowing when he'd take his headphones off because he had to go to the bathroom or had to leave for work. I've repeatedly emphasized that this is important to me because it's part of my healthcare and that therapy is predicated on confidentiality, but today it came to a head when I asked him to leave as he was napping after not being able to sleep much last night. He asked me if he could put his headphones on, and I said no, citing confidentiality again as the reason, and he started making fun of that as he does from time to time. I snapped and said I have a reasonable expectation of privacy for therapy protected by law, and that this person's and that if he's had such a hard time sleeping, then he should be getting help from his doctor, not pushing that onto me. That's you should seek some sort of...
Is that not his home?
Yeah, no. No, I agree with you. It's not that much longer. I'll finish it. She sounds like a bitch.
Oh my God.
He then started sneering at how I tell him to go to a doctor for everything. He has Medicare, so most things are covered or fairly affordable, and that he doesn't have a sleeping problem. I told him that only being able to sleep 4 to 5 hours a night is, all caps, definitely a problem. Plus, he's diabetic, so his chronic fatigue is a symptom of poorly controlled diabetes. And I'm not going to be around forever to take care of him. Girl, you better not.
She's not gonna outlive him. He's almost 70. What the fuck?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, so he asked me what I meant, and I just told him if he gets amputated, it's on him. This person sucks. Am I an asshole, or am I the asshole for reacting the way I did and threatening him with amputation and leaving him to deal with that on his own after he sneered at my request for confidentiality in therapy sessions? Is this a joke?
Is this a joke? I think a man wrote this to be like, women are terrible and
I literally feel like this is a character that somebody has created, because it's like, I'm not going to be around forever. Like, what are you talking about?
You're 36 or 33.
Am I the asshole for reacting the way I did and threatening him with amputation? You didn't threaten him with amputation. You were like, maybe, take care of your diabetes or you'll get an amputation. That's not threatening someone with amputation.
First of all, yes, she is the asshole. I think that there's a reasonable expectation to be able to take a nap in your home. If you want a reasonable expectation of privacy with therapy, then you need to arrange something for that. Like,
also, yeah,
houses are for resting and like sleeping, and where the fuck else is he supposed to sleep?
I feel like all the solution to that. Well, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say too, because it's like, oh, I have to wake him up from his nap for him to leave. Like, it's like, why doesn't he just, if he just is sleeping?
Is she exclusively talking about him during therapy?
Yeah, right. I mean, I know, but I mean, I understand, like,
not wanting your partner to listen in on. I get it.
Yeah, you have to be able to know that you're alone, like that nobody's listening to what you're saying, or else it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But also, it's like, yeah, so they could turn, the TV on. Like, you could have the white noise machine he is with the TV on
in that room. White noise machine, TV, all of those things in the other room.
And why did she say that the car doesn't work? Because that makes sense to me.
So here's the thing. So if she was changes. I'm assuming she's doing this on her phone then, right? If she's mobile enough to go into the car.
Yeah,
probably.
Or a computer.
I would doubt that she's doing a computer thing in the car. Maybe. I just know my service in my driveway is just terrible.
Not the same, yeah.
So if she's on her phone, why can't you do the therapy in the car until he's ready and just be like, okay, take 1 moment, 2-minute pause, go in the house, he leaves. You switch the venues.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that
it's just like she spent 0 minutes problem solving.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that like I kind of had to laugh a little bit at her saying, then he said that I always tell him to go to the doctor for everything.
I believe that to be true.
Yeah, like it sounds like, I don't know. I might just be judging because of the age difference. But
yeah.
This person might not be real as well. I swear it feels like they might not be real. It feels like
this feels like a fake person. Like, I'm not going to be around forever. Are you offing yourself sometime soon? Like, what do you...
They share... Oh, I have some comments. Somebody asked, do either of you have a car? And then she says, we share one car. So that's exactly what... Okay. Because he needs to come and use the car. That is that's so easy.
Easy.
Well, neither of you seem to respect the other. You don't respect that he also lives in the home. He doesn't respect that you require mental health services. So she's like, I work a lot more than him, so he's home a lot more than me.
He's also almost 70, should be retired.
Like, dude. And also, like, the way, she was like, he can't hear that well. I'm like, yeah, girl, he's fucking old. He's like, old as my fuck. Dad is almost that old. Like, and I know for a fact that he could not. If I was like, if he's in the living room and I was in a bedroom, no way. Unless, unless
maybe they're in a small apartment or something.
Maybe
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what the stipulations of it are.
The man is old. I guarantee his hearing's not that great.
But like, there are things you can do to make it so people can't hear you.
Honestly, the car thing just makes literally so much sense.
Just go in the car, and when he needs it, move. Your appointment isn't going to be derailed, or it shouldn't be, right?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think so.
I can't imagine, because you have to move your body to a different location, that the entire therapy is just done now. Like, I don't know.
Totally.
Maybe she could try finding a different time while he's at work, Maybe her therapist has other time slots open. I don't know.
I think she said something about scheduling with the therapist. But due to schedule changes with my therapist, it's no longer... Oh, well, that's just... Yeah, the using the car thing. But yeah. Yeah. Stupid. People are stupid.
Yeah.
Y'all
need to... Maybe not be together. That's... I'm so side-eye about relationships that are that far apart. I just feel like there's a weird power dynamic happening somewhere with somebody.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. Because it's not like, I mean, yes, there's somebody is looking for something.
Somebody has the power.
Yeah.
Anyways, That's just my 2 cents. If you were in, like, I know that there's some perfectly happy couples who just happen to fall in love with an older person, and that's lit. Love that for you. But in general, side eye. To you.
Just kidding. It's disrespectful in general.
So I think we're actually a little over our time today. Well, that was fun. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next week, bitch.
Don't be an asshole.
Update your WeedTube app. By the time this is out,
Yes.
WeedTube will have Pipeline on the app, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Update your fucking WeedTube app on your phone.
Period.
Love you.
Do it.